Hey everyone, welcome back to this podcast where a woman who still thinks that she's a little girl talks about things that interest her. She doesn't necessarily use the word passion a lot and believes that it is her curiosity that's mainly driving her. Well, that's me, Suchitra, and I'm back here after a really long time, and I hope that you all are doing well wherever you are in the world out there. Well, I recently just finished reading a book called Chalta Hai When It's Okay Is Not Okay by Alpesh Patel. And I found myself understanding India a lot better after reading this one. Well, I'm not really into history and all, but this book talks about it in a way that it's not boring to a common man. Let me read out a brief about this book that you may find interesting and which also caught my interest as well. Here it goes. India once commanded a massive 30% share of the global GDP and led the world in most fields. But today, the country sadly is a developing nation. People often attribute India's sluggish progress to the Chalta hai attitude, but not everyone agrees with that presupposition. Debates on the subject are often inconclusive and the questions remain unanswered. Are we really a Chalta hai nation? Is Chalta hai ingrained in our DNA, or is it just a bad habit which can be easily exterminated? Will this attitude stop India from becoming a global power? Alpesh Patel delves into this quirky Indian approach and answers these questions by examining the country's pace of progress in fields such as education, infrastructure, films, and sports since independence. The book revisits our cultural, ideological, and political history over 3 millennia to trace the roots of the Chalta hai attitude of Indians. Interesting facts and unsettling inferences force the reader to introspect and awaken to the need for an urgent action. Finally, the book charts out methods and suggestions on how to get rid of the Chalta hai attitude and take India closer to the dream of becoming a developed nation. So, this is a brief about this book. Well, to be very honest, I just picked up this one because of the title. And when I first started reading it, I didn't expect this book to be so well researched. Maybe mainly I presumed that this is going to be an author's subjective view. But turns out the author has done considerable research and he presents his findings across four sectors. They are sports, education, films, and road transportation, mainly about infrastructure. The reason why the author chose only these four areas to focus is because these are the areas which most of us can relate ourselves to, no matter which part of the country we are from. So in sports, he compares our performance in the Olympics and to what China has achieved. And in education, it's India versus the entire world, and how passing a right to education act was just a small step, and there's lots to be done, and we are nowhere near the standard that other countries have already surpassed. For examples, PISA rating. And though we produce world's majority of the films, isn't it strange that we have Oscars that we can literally count on our fingers? Like, I mean, I can only think about A.R. Rahman and the recent ones for RRR, but apart from that, nothing comes to our mind. Talking about our country's roads is literally bringing up nightmares for me. But all these areas are extensively talked about in this book. And what's interesting is that Alpesh takes back, like, he talks about a time where all of this has actually started. Alpesh explains that historically our country has always been an inward looking nation. We have never invaded another country or, you know, involved ourselves much in the international affairs. Even like the very essence of our ideology has always been to find peace and one's true self from within and not look at others for answers. While this attitude has its merits, it has also made us non competitive in the sense that until recently, we never really looked at other countries for setting a certain standard of quality in different areas. We only looked inwards at our country and without any kind of comparison to have. We were satisfied by the way our life and our standards were. It's only when Indians started traveling and were exposed to various other countries, and I think that's when they started comparing their lifestyle systems and standards with our own um, country, and the reality comes in shockingly. And I think this book talks about like how we have evolved to become what we are now. That is why we are so okay to not pass certain quality standards. Whereas he sheds light on how the Europeans have become what they are now and what it is that we are lacking. So basically, for Europeans, it's during the Dark Ages, European natives had to fight the Roman Empire for centuries together to finally defeat them. And just that victory filled them with this indomitable will to fight and become more powerful, which they ended up becoming. And discovering America and India added fuel to their aspirations. Whereas our focus was dharma and doing the right thing and playing by the rule book, even when our invaders didn't follow any such rules and cunningly trapped us. The ultimate downfall started when Prithviraj Chauhan got captured due to his negligence. When the second time Mohammad Ghori returned for an attack, he believed he won't be attacked in the night as it was the rule back then. But the invader ended up not following these so called rules. And from then, once we were conquered, we seem to have accepted it for a very long time. That is, from Mughals to the Britishers. We have gotten used to other people managing our things for us, and our standard for a quality life fell as well. Even after 7 decades, there's so much our country still lacks, and there's immense brain drain. We function really well in developed countries as we are known to have high tolerance levels, and adjusting comes to us naturally. But we don't really believe in confrontation and arguments, which signify a level of violence at times. We were led by Gandhi, and we internalized believing in ahimsa so much that we don't even raise our voices. Sometimes, even I find myself not demanding the quality of anything that I'm not happy with, from food to hotel services, etc. It's like, in a way, we all are conditioned to accept the subpar things around us. Hence, no one demands quality. We end up not pushing or delivering quality ourselves. That's why a few who are fed up with, our system here in India end up leaving the country, and these are the ones who truly believe in quality work and quality pay and a quality life overall, and they are powered to chase them. This book made me think so much about myself and the environment I'm in. I ended up asking myself, how many times did I accept and tolerate low quality goods and services? And sometimes I do ask myself, am I delivering a quality output or doing some quick fixes to get away with? And these quick fixes are nothing but the jugaad that is very popular in our country. Well, this book was an eye opener for me. Um, I think it's the way we've evolved to think. For us, it's always the survival, not so much about innovation. With these questions and with this short book review, I leave you all here. Until next time, take care.